What's this? That's weird. I'm not sure what this is.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the live stream. It is a delight to have you all here. People in the chat, let me know. Can you hear me? Can you hear the music? Is it all nicely balanced? I'm trying something different, I'm putting the music through different pipes tonight for reasons that you'll see later on. But yeah, just let me know. Just keep checking in about the sound. Thank you very much to NJ for the first super chat of the night. Welcome along, everybody. It's nice to have you all here. If it's your first time watching one of the post-mortem live streams, then extra special double welcome to you. That's really great. Thanks to Things for being in the chat. Well, hello. It's nice to have you here. Welcome to my bedroom. These are the post-mortem live streams. What we like to do on the post-mortem live streams is we like to have a very chill time. We like to have it be very relaxed. We like the chat to be a nice place. We like to talk about the last video that I made and some of my notes to self. I'll go through some of the comments. If we can make the tech work, then I'm like fingers crossed. I want to have a special guest on to talk to you a little bit about the last video as well, which is going to be pretty fun. So yes, like fingers crossed, that's all going to work because we tried to make the tech work earlier on this afternoon and it was a bit of a nightmare. So hopefully we can make that work and I can get a special guest on for you. But yeah, we like things to be relaxed, we like things to be chill. We'll talk a little bit about the last video. I'll tell you a little bit about like how it was made and like some of the context of production as well. Like just give you a bit of like a behind the scenes sneaky peek. And the other thing we like to do is we like to start the stream by lighting a candle. So thank you to Bronze Manure for that super chat as well. Thank you for reminding me that if there are any super chats over the course of the night, then I will always do my best to shout them out. If I miss them, then I'm sorry. If you're using a super chat to ask me a question, I'll try and get to it. Probably best to have a small question or a short one. If you're asking me for like a 9 million page essay answer, then you're probably not going to get a very satisfying answer. But yeah, welcome along. I'll start the candle to officially start the stream. It's a scented candle, and tonight's is, I think it's called Black Sands. What does it smell like to you? Can you enable your internet Smellobe app now? All right. I'll put the bin outside. Anyway, welcome along. It's good to have you all here. So the last video I made was called Queer Sparkle Emoji, and it was just a small one, just a little video, just a cheeky little one. It's very dry, for just a lot of theory. No, it was about queer theory. It was kind of explaining what queer theory is, like Queer Theory 101, and it was a musical. There were 3 big musical numbers in it, and it was my coming out video. I came out as bi. Surprise. Nobody was surprised. Well, I was surprised, but I think very few other people were. But yes, what do I think of it overall? General impressions? I think it's my best work. I think it's my best video yet. I thought like in terms of like theory and art like together, I thought it worked. Like I was really happy with it. I especially liked so some people were like, oh, the musical numbers, do they really add anything? And yeah, they do, like, because, or at least in my mind they do, because when I'm talking about heterotemporality and when I'm talking about queer theories of time, I can even show you them. Thank you very much, Renee, for that super chat. Hey, there I am. Just make sure I'm in the right window here. When I'm talking about heterotemporality and like queer theories of time, it's a great freeze frame that is. If I just talk about like heterotemporality and like time, it's quite abstract, it's quite weird. But if I can express it in the form of a song, if I can show you what heterotemporality is by having your mum and dad sing a song about it, then that's that's just kind of more fun. So Steady as She Goes, the musical number was all about heterotemporality and like queer explorations of time. And I was citing all of these sources as well that talk about that. And then the second musical number was Devil You Know, which was good fun. Let me find a good visual for that. Boom, there you go. Devil You Know, the kind of eight-way musical number. That is the bi flag. That took a long time to edit. It's good. The editing for Devil You Know was exceptionally difficult. But good fun. Let's change the music here that you can hear. Yeah, cool. So that was fun. And it was about like the different views of like self-doubt and mind and like stories. What sort of story you tell. What do I talk about just before? I swear I just rewatched this. Like the what use of language is. So yeah, that was fun. And again, it's kind of about like straight time versus queer time. And then my type is kind of it's just like a bi anthem really, or it is now at least. And then is kind of about like family rather than membership is why I sort of chose that. Because the idea is like you're just my type. You've got a pulse and you're breathing. There we go. Yes, I can really play the saxophone. A few people, quite a few people asked, will the songs be released as a standalone thing? Probably not, I'm afraid, because I don't think for copyright reasons I can do that. So you're just going to have to go back and watch the videos. Ponius asks, was this video your coming out or just clarifying your sexuality of the internet? It was my coming out. Some people thought that they guessed beforehand, but no, I was not out beforehand. Yeah. So yeah, I was really pleased with this one. I did want to say though, and thank you very much, Ponius, that's very appropriate. Something I wanted to add, I made a little note to myself, was that I chose to have this sort of big coming out video because that's kind of what I wanted to do, and also I was planning on doing a video about like queer time anyway, and then I thought, ooh, what if this was my coming out video? Like, this is kind of married together. I don't need to do a separate video for that, put them together. But I did want to say that like I chose to have this like big showy coming out, but if you don't do that, if you're also like valid if you don't come out. Some people just kind of quietly, just live. You don't have to have a big kind of like da-da. I just did that because because I can and because it's fun, and that's how I get my sick kicks. But yeah, on a kind of related note, some people said that they were like, oh, what's this video like really about? Because some people said that like some people messaged me saying like they are very comfortable in their queerness, and the video is very much because they're like ahead of where I was in making it, and the video is very much about like me coming to be comfortable with it, and like going from being uncomfortable to comfortable. And so some people were like, I'm kind of a little bit ahead of this. I'm not sure it's really for me. It's still kind of aimed at a sort of almost like aimed at a straight or questioning audience, which I think is fair. Like there are definitely people who are like further ahead than I am, and that's fair enough. I think that's kind of a fair cop, really. I did wonder though how videos like this, I wondered how they sort of affect what people think of as coming out, because when you see a video like a tweet by somebody like announcing that they are like, coming out and that they're not where you maybe presume them to be, it's like maybe it's maybe too easy to assume that it starts with posting. Like I post, therefore I am. Because that's the first thing you see. Whereas, the process of like leading up to this video like took me years and months. If you want to call it research, I was watching Marina Watanabe's videos on being bisexual like 2 years ago, and further back than that, kind of getting ready to be in a place where I could make it. Thank you very much to Not Sam. So yeah, I guess like. This wasn't the beginning. It wasn't like it doesn't begin with posting. Thank you very much, Kaylee McCarthy, for that super chat as well. And to Stephen Clear, it's not all better now, sadly. There are some workouts I still can't do, but I can still kind of use it for most day-to-day things. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, it didn't begin with posting. Like I was like researching this and experimenting before this. So yeah, I wanted to kind of flag that up here. That very much like the trauma video, actually, Men Abuse Trauma. If you thank you BW Grant Barnes for that super chat. Very much like my video on Men Abuse Trauma. It's kind of a rhetorical device that I'm using where I'm saying that I am like in the script. It seems like I'm like going through this struggle as the video goes on, but of course I'm kind of writing it from the point of view of already having like come to terms with it. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Shannon. The biggest surprise is that you play the sax. Do you play the sax? Yes, I do. I've played the sax for years in school. I never usually play it, but yeah, that is really me playing the saxophone. I've got it down the foot of my bed. I'm not going to play it now because it'll piss off my flatmate. But yeah, I do. And speaking of which, that's quite a good segue into the music. And I have, if they are around and if we can make this tech work, I have a guest lined up to talk to us about the music. How were we going to do this again? We were going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to try and put my guest through Discord and from Discord through the internet pipe into OBS and then into the pipe to YouTube and then into the pipe to your home. So fingers crossed we can make this work. If my guest would like to send me a cheeky DM on Twitter whenever they're ready, and we'll make that happen. But yeah, fingers crossed. I really hope we can make this work. God, I haven't touched anything. I haven't touched any of the settings. I really hope it works. But yeah, fingers crossed. We're gonna try and get a cheeky guest on. It should be good fun. I guess. Thank you very much to Nej Tvar Inte for that super chat. Internet pipes. Okay, boomer. Hey. Okay, my guest is ready. God, I mean, let's all cross our fingers here. Okay, I'm gonna call you. Here we go. Hello?
Hello?
I can hear you. Fingers crossed, OBS.
I can hear you too.
Brilliant. I think, okay, so what I will do is I will turn you up all the way and hope, like, people in the chat, let me know. Can you hear Nina okay? And is the music, like, to the levels of music, is that still good? Let me know. People in the chat are saying the guest is Jordan Peterson. No, it isn't. People were also guessing Jeremy Corbyn, which I loved. Let me just move myself down.
Oh my god.
Brilliant. People can hear. Fantastic. Oh, well, let me turn Nina up.
Oh, great stuff.
Let me turn Nina up all the way. It's all right. You're now turned up to the
Hello.
max. Brilliant. You could maybe turn it like every member of the raconteurs. So you're up to maximum on my end.
I can probably turn myself up a little bit more.
Cool.
How about that? Is that better?
It sounded louder to me. What I can also do is I can turn down the music. There we go. So hello. I'm delighted to introduce to the chat Nina Richards. Nina is an extraordinarily talented musician who arranged all of the covers in the video. All of the music covers. Yeah, welcome along, Nina. Congratulations for doing an amazing job, and thank you for doing such a.
No, thank you for having me on there, doing them. It was a lot of fun putting those together.
It was a lot of. I didn't even really give like Nina all that much time as well. Like I wrote and said like, hey, there's like three songs that need to do in like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. I think I'd just seen I think we just watched your previous video. And then you're like, oh, can you do me 3 songs? I was
actually going to message you immediately after this with possibly another one for the next one.
Well, always the pleasure.
But yeah, like, do you want to... Okay, people in the chat are now saying that you're a little loud, but I can...
I'm too loud. You can turn me down. Great stuff.
That's all right, just keep checking in, people in the chat, and we'll sort of find a happy medium. But somebody says the music and Nina are too loud. Well, turn your speakers down. That's on you. Okay. Thank you, Nina, for agreeing to come on the.
No worries.
Come on the
It's great to be on.
On thing. I'll tell you what. I'll just turn the music off in the background, and that give us one less thing to worry about. Can you? So what? I'm curious. Like, which one was your favourite of the three? So we did Steady as She Goes.
Out of the three,
we did Steady as She Goes, Devil You Know, and My Type.
Wow. My favourite to work on was actually the last one, the My Type track.
Really?
Just because it was so much fun to do, like literally going out and like buying a tambourine for that one, which was like, just to really sort of, rattle it in places. But as usual, they're always very interesting to work on. They're always very, not quite what I'm expecting, I suppose. So I think that was my favorite. The most difficult was, of course, The Devil You Know. That one was, that was challenging on, many different fronts.
Yeah, I think Zoe said was that the one where you had over 100 tracks at one point?
It was like 108 tracks. That was 16 tracks of your vocals.
Yeah.
And it's 108 tracks. It's just. I didn't have the full because usually when I'm doing these things I have to transcribe them first, so usually I'm quite good at that. I can just play along to it and figure out the chords and all that sort of thing. That one's tricky because there's 2 key changes in that song, as well as all of those. I think we had 8 different parts doubled, didn't we? So there was like
yeah.
So that was a challenge, and
it was a long day of singing.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, and then sorting out 2 hours worth of audio or something. It was quite a lot of audio to go through.
We had to. I planned out so meticulously the order in which I would record each one to like save the most difficult ones to last. So I'd be like really nice and warmed up by the time we got to the fortune teller bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Nina has like magic buttons in her software that like there's like a slider with like music goodness, and she just like clicks on that and just like slides goodness up to max, just max out.
I mean, it's not quite as automatic as you might. I mean, it's kind of like they call auto tune and all that sort of thing, but it's not really very automatic as a lot of like listening through and mostly because it'll sound completely unnatural if you correct everything, but correcting the odd thing is like is the way to do it usually.
I really liked when you sent me the kind of demo version of Steady as She Goes. I really, really enjoyed that because like that was like did you put a lot of like correction into the timing of that one?
I think we did the normal correction. I put everything through and also changed the rhythm of the vocal a little bit just to make it more wooden. Yeah,
definitely. Well, that kind of really informed. So in terms of like people in the chat, the order in which we filmed it, we spent a day recording the audio, and then I sent that audio to Nina, and then Nina sent me the finished versions of the songs, and then I recorded the music videos. So the very last thing we did was record your dad and your mum thing. So I shaved, and that was the last thing, and we did the kind of the drag look, and so like the version you sent me, because you like it was corrected and you like made it like wooden, as you say. That really like informed the performance. Like the characters became a lot more robotic, and there was that bit at the end where they're like shut down, and that it just really really informed it, and I love that a lot. And same with Devil You Know as well. Like the characters were all like really informed by the way that you mix them in. Which I loved.
And I always put you those little messages on to tell you which bits are coming in.
Definitely, yeah. in the kind of demo version that I had in my ear when we were recording it had Nina's voice being like 1, 2, 3. Now, it was to like make sure they all synced up.
Well,
it was great. Yeah. People, what's the name of your little dog in the back?
That's Doggy Dogster, which some people might recognise from Zoe's videos, actually.
Oh, Zoe's in the chat. Hang on a minute.
Zoe should be in the chat.
Why haven't I? Yeah, I've just given you the powers of the wrench, Zoe. You've made you a moderator. I don't know if you can see the chat, but people are saying Amy Ostman says great job. They really enjoyed the musical numbers.
Oh, great stuff! Yeah, I can see it whizzing past. Wow.
But yeah, this isn't even the first time you've done. Thank you, Ben Affleck, the Almighty, for that super chat. Who wants me to put up a separate channel with all the music on? Again, I think it would just get copyright struck. I think.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's a really, you don't really have to do anything. It doesn't even have to be that close to the original anymore.
We've fallen foul of that before, haven't we?
Yeah.
So so Nina also did. Was it Goodbye Dr. P?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was wild. That one got immediately copyright struck. This video got demonetized within about 24 hours. It took longer than I thought, but it did get done.
Which tracks did it pick up, or did it pick up?
I will try and I can't find out while I'm logged into this YouTube channel. I'll try and find out later. People in the chat saying it's a cover. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, covers still get you.
Yeah, they always
now
get.
because they're kind of the system's good enough to pick it up now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Sadly, covers do not fall under fair use.
Yeah. The interesting thing about the Steady As She Goes track is when I first did that, I did it as a like a synth pop track. I don't know if you remember that version I sent over, and it was like, yeah, probably not what we want for this. And then I just did it on the guitar instead, and it sounded, yeah.
I mean, it was excellent, but I think I said to you, like, it was really cool. It sounded really cool. I was like, these characters aren't cool.
Exactly.
They sound too cool. Yeah, that was fun. God, dusting off the saxophone, which I've not played in years, and having to I spent days practicing.
Well, it sounded pretty good to me. It was really good as soon as it was all mixed in. It sounded great.
I love that one. Yeah, it's brilliant. Thank you, Lexi, for that super chat as well. People are saying, can you insert parody lyrics into it? You can, but again, the algorithm still gets you. I got stung for Goodbye Dr. P. What other things have we done? We
did the wall track.
Oh yes, yeah. Why We Built the Wall. That was
and
good.
Zoe helped a bit with that one too. Yeah, that is probably, of all the ones we've done, that's still my favorite.
Yeah, I love that one. That's good. I really enjoy it.
It's, yeah, I did love that one. And I tried to, like, in that particular song, I remember I was mixing it, and it was a bit towards the end where I think it's the last time you say, and that's why you build the wall, and it's like, it gets really loud.
Yeah.
And quite deliberately, I made everything a little bit louder at that point, so I was hoping that when you sung it, you would like shout into it, and you did, and it worked great.
Brilliant.
I love that.
Thank you, your name here, for that super chat as well. Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. They actually copyright claimed me for that. And it was legit. Like, it was, because it wasn't fair use. You know, we were using melody that someone else wrote. You can like challenge it, and I challenged it anyway, and I basically just wrote, come on, like I said, I'm linking it to the original. It's an educational video. I ticked the fair use box, but it technically wasn't, and they let me have it. They were like, go on.
Wow.
Which was kind of them.
Oh, that's good.
And that was before it won all the Tonys.
Yeah.
So I think, I saw, if you're just joining us, like Nina and I did a song from the musical Hadestown, and that was before, like, I had just seen Hadestown like a few weeks before, and then it won a whole bunch of Tonys, and now it's like $200 a ticket.
Yeah, I think I would have loved to have gone and seen that, but I think chances of going to see it now are remote.
Yeah. It's not easy to get into now. I think basically if you don't have an inside track, it's hard to get. My parents tried to see it recently, and somebody said, so you're taking credit for the Tony? Yeah, I think, Nina, we could take credit for the Tony.
Yeah.
And I think you did the music for my video on witchcraft as well, didn't you? Was that you and Zoe together?
Yeah, that was both of us. Yeah, so I think Zoe did the title music for that one, as I recall, and I did the two that we used in the video and the end titles, if I remember rightly. Which is,
that was great, because we all went out for drinks in Brighton, and then I was just like, let's definitely get you writing some for the witchcraft one. That was great fun. And I used the Witchy Whispers track. I used that a few more times. I used that briefly in the Climate Grief video in the background as well.
Yeah, I did notice. Yeah.
It was good fun. I like that one. And also, and the abortion one as well.
Oh, of course. Yeah. The there's that really sort of loud, industrial sounding, ominous, nasty music used throughout and at the end credits.
That was really good. And also something that no one else has heard.
Oh yeah.
You did an instrumental of Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Oh god, yeah.
Which I have on my computer still. People in the chat, for the Ben Shapiro and abortion video, I had Nina make a cover, like a synth violin cover of Devil Went Down to Georgia, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a synth, and then it just got louder and louder and louder as it went through. And then I think it ended in like a car smashing sound, as I recall. And it was,
it just like wasn't tonally appropriate for the video. It was like too upbeat, so I just sort of kept it, and I've never used it now. Probably get copyright stricken for using it. Maybe someday I'll use it.
Yeah. Somebody just reminded that we did the Sleepwalker track as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, I listened back to that a while ago, and I was like, "Oh, my singing's improved since then." I enjoy that one.
Yeah, that's a lovely song, actually.
I love it. I love Hayish, they're great. My faves.
Somebody, Zoe's been picking out some questions for me because I can't read it. And she said, Jennifer Edwards said, "Could you ask Nina what her process is in adapting such popular songs?" That's a good question. So generally, I take the original song and obviously listen to it over and over and over again just to get a feel for it. And then I usually try and pick out the things that make it the song, which are usually generally the bass line and the chords, that sort of thing. And then I'll lay those out straight away. So I've got a rough template of the whole track without worrying too much about the instrumentation and without worrying too much about any specifics, counter melodies, anything like that. So I've got like a template to work from. And then I just start throwing things at it. Like I'll throw in some synths, some analog synths, and I just sort of go from there. Obviously, you have to leave space in the song for the vocal if it's got vocals in, so I can mix around it later. So I have to bear that in mind. But so that it's about taking something that sounds interesting from the original and then twisting it a little bit just so it doesn't sound exactly the same, basically.
What's the difference between a synth and an analog synth?
Well, when I say synth, it could be like a digital one, could be on the computer software, whereas an analog synth is more like this thing behind me with all the knobs and the wires and everything plugged in, which is pure analog.
God, it's magic.
Lovely and warm sounding, and it's sort of got like an unpredictable element and an unstable element about it, and it sounds quite organic.
Yeah. I remember you telling me when we went out in Brighton about you had something like that sounded like a choir of dead children. There's like some special instrument that you just got.
Oh, that'll be Zoe probably telling you about that. That's the Mellotron, which is an old tape-based keyboard, which is it literally just sounds like dead people singing.
Yeah, so Zoe's got a box with the soul of a child in it that sings.
Well, she hasn't got a hardware one yet, but I'm sure she'll probably end up with one eventually.
June Burney asks, question for Nina, do you have any advice for up-and-coming trans composers/producers?
Just keep doing it. Even if you don't think whatever you're doing is great, just try and finish whatever you're doing and don't dwell on any one thing for too long. That's my best advice. Cool. I would say. Advice I've only really started taking myself recently. So,
maybe Zoe says take time off.
Take time off, that's a good idea, yeah.
Someone beginning with I asks, how do you tell Ollie what notes to sing? Gruelingly, I think.
Well, sometimes I put the guide track in there on the piano, which I do most of the time.
Really useful.
Yeah. Occasionally I mangle the original recording enough so you can hear the words. And, because it's very difficult to get things to match up because they're running at different speeds. Most tracks are not consistent throughout. But it sometimes is good enough as a rough guide.
Yeah, that's really, really useful.
Let's see. Is there any other questions here? Oh yeah, that's that one. How did you do 4 songs in 1 month? Yeah, I don't really know how I managed to do last month. Because it's not my full-time job or anything. This is just all my, any spare time I can make.
Well, I didn't know. I wouldn't have asked you to do 3 if I didn't.
Oh no. I'm in a fortunate position where, like, because I work for myself in my day job, I can say take 2 days out a week to do some music, which is how I work it in. Okay. If it was completely outside of hours, I wouldn't have been able to do all of that.
Oh, good.
But, yeah, because I've got flexible working hours. It's
good.
Quite handy.
I'm glad. I should clarify for people in the chat as well. Like I did it, like pay Nina to do this as well. This is not out of the goodness of
it's not a freebie.
This is hard. Yeah. Feel free to charge more if you want it. Every time you invoice me, I'm always like, damn, this is a bargain. Like,
wow, I have to bear that in mind.
No, please do. I said this to Alice has just joined us in the chat. Alice was the producer for this video as well, and helped me out for one day on set and invoiced me. And when she invoiced me, it was for less than London minimum wage, and I was like, come on, Alice.
Yeah.
I want to give more money.
Yeah, you got to definitely value yourself. That's the
definitely
that's advice.
Were there any other questions for Nina, or like any other stories and stuff you want to say? I'll probably hang out for a little bit after you're gone, and we'll sort of carry on with the rest of the stream and do comments and stuff.
Cool.
What else we got?
I did make a few notes on
Yeah.
Let's have a little look. Rough finish. Yeah, Steady As She Goes, that was quite interesting, because that's, I think, probably out of all the 3, there's the least amount of instruments in that track, but it kind of worked with, there's literally guitar, bass, vocal, and an organ, I think, and a little bit of a synth sound. So that was that one was quite stripped back, whereas like my type, that was a case of basically throwing everything at the wall to get it as loud as possible. Which yeah, that was so much fun. I did enjoy that one. Yeah, and as per usual, these songs are I still find myself singing them just randomly now, just going around the house.
Still do as well.
You can make a cup of tea and you just launch into a rendition of it. Yeah,
it was good fun.
Somebody asks, let's see, what did you study? How did you learn to do sound work? Right, my background is in computers, which is what I do for my day job, which is what pays the bills. And so the audio stuff and all that sort of thing is basically just like, that's just my passion project, as it were. That's just what I do when I'm chilling out. And I've been doing it since probably since about 10 years old. I won't tell you how old I am now, but it was a while ago. And yeah, I've always been into synths, always been into computer music and building synthesizers and things like that. So
cool.
Yeah, it's just ongoing, and Zoe is too. So we're the worst. Like, in some respects, we're the worst, because like one of us will get a synthesizer and the other can't say anything bad about it. Oh, I can't say you can't get that. And yeah, so we have a house full of synthesizers.
Oh, that's
She's
great.
good
You
and
like
bad.
adopting synthesizers. That's great. Who else in the chat? Questions?
Let's have a look. What analog synth would you recommend for somebody getting into it? A Novation Base Station 2 is what I would recommend.
There you go.
It's 300 quid.
Just what really I was going to say.
You can't go wrong with that one. It's really good.
Amber Lennox has a really great question. Do you work with other YouTubers, and where else can they hear your work? So you've got like loads of original music as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. I started putting my original stuff up probably about a year ago, I think so now, which you can find on my website, ninarichards.co.uk. Other people I've worked with, I did a cover of Dare for H Bomber Guy.
Oh yeah, for his Transformers video, that was you, yeah.
That was me with some help from Zoe as well.
Yeah.
Who else have I
You
done
and
stuff
Zoe
for?
between you just do the soundtrack for all three of us now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I was trying to think who else I've done work for. I've produced other music for other people that's not YouTube, but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm going to be in a. I can't talk about it now, but I'm going to be in a play next year for which we might need some music. That could be fun. Might be up the street. But yeah, I can't talk about it now. It's just occurred to me now. I shouldn't have. Fair enough. I'm going to have so much fun with this play. Yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to do some publicity for it soon. I'm really, really excited. But...
Awesome.
Who else has a question for Nina before we sort of take it back to our usual fare with the stream? What do you listen to when you're just chilling? Says Neela Earnsworth.
I listen to a lot of soundtracks usually. Cool. A lot of music with a lot of film soundtracks. It tends to be what I listen to these days. Yeah, I listen to anything and everything. Pop music, all sorts. But I could be listening to Lady Gaga 1 minute and the soundtrack to Mad Max Fury Road the next. That sort of thing. So it's like a bit of a mix of everything. Yeah. A bit of everything.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, a bit of everything, really.
Jennifer Edwards says, how did you all start working together? I think... did Zoe start doing music for Nat?
Yeah, Zoe'd been doing music for Nat for a while.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Zoe contacted me saying, did I want any music? And then we were all four of us in Brighton at the same time.
Yeah.
And we all went out and got a bit drunk in Brighton.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I was like, look, it's guest some music in my next video. It's about witches. And you were like, brilliant. Let's do it. And that was it.
I can still feel that headache from last year. It was like a year ago, wasn't it?
It was a while ago. It feels like a lifetime ago. Like, yeah. Damn, that was a good night though. That was a damn good night. We all went for like some sort of like slightly mediocre meal and then just all went and got espresso martinis. And that was
Yeah,
it was good.
That was very nice. I have to do it again.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah. Neela says, Nina, what movie has your favorite soundtrack?
What movie has my favorite soundtrack? It depends, really. It usually depends what I've seen last. But at the minute, I'm still rocking the Mad Max Fury Road one. I love that.
Nice.
Although Inception's got a lovely soundtrack too.
Yeah. The Brahms.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with him.
Time is a fucking great one.
Oh yes, yeah, that's lovely. I listen to him a lot because usually if I'm working on something, it's good to have music that doesn't have lyrics, because lyrics get distracting while working on things. But
fair enough, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, The Thing says my video Witchcraft, Gender and Marxism came out October 28th last year, so that must have been like almost exactly a year ago that we went out in Brighton.
It was, yeah. I remember because it was just before my birthday in October, so I remember when it was.
Nice.
Because I think me and Zoe were at a synth exhibition like the next day. I think that was right.
Oh yeah.
And because it was like we had to rush. We came rushing down to because we couldn't miss the opportunity to meet you and Nat. And and then we had to rush back to go to a synth exposition.
Oh, so cool. Was that the same synth expedition that you were at a while ago?
It's the same one, yeah. We go every year. That particular is the big one. Yeah.
Are you both sort of quite big on the synth scene? Do you get people coming up to you?
A lot of people know us. A lot of people see us from the stuff we do online, and because we make stuff as well, that's usually what we're exhibiting. And it's the same sort of people you see every time, really, and you sort of become friends, like periodic friends with all these people, which is really nice.
Oh, brilliant.
Occasionally you bump into like random famous people. And I was, not last year, the year before, I was having a conversation with somebody pretty famous for about half an hour, and I had no idea who it was. I was only told after the fact who it was, and I was like, I was gobsmacked. I had no idea.
I'm sure Benedict Cumberbatch wasn't offended.
No. Oh, some people saying Zoe's posted me some more things here. Have I listened to Hamilton? No, I wanted to see Hamilton, but yeah, not gonna happen.
Chloe Hall says, "What are your thoughts on lo-fi?"
Lo-fi? What's lo-fi?
Lo-fi is what every single YouTuber listens to as background music all the time. If you like put in YouTube like lo-fi hip hop chill anime beats to study / relax to, they're always broadcasting like that. Everyone listens to them all the time.
So it's like it's the elevator music of YouTube.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you know what? That's exactly what somebody else said to me last week. It's the very same words. I just got back from holiday a couple of days ago, and I was just listening to lo-fi the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, it was the relaxing soundtrack the whole time. It was brilliant.
Wow. Do you have a favourite? Fuzzy B asks, do you have a favourite emotion to express through music? Not really, but I know. There's a funny thing when you're writing music. At some point, like it stops being yours, if that makes sense, and you hear it for the first time. It's like, this is too good for me to have written, and it suddenly isn't mine anymore. And that usually happens if you can manage to give yourself goosebumps by doing something or something like that, which is very, very rare. I think it happened when I was making that Wall track. Yeah, there's just a moment, and it started layering up the vocals. It's like, oh my god, this is gonna be. But by the time I finished it, it's like it's not really mine anymore. I always feel like I could never do it again. I could never do something that good again.
I know what you mean. I feel that way sometimes about like writing and acting.
Yeah,
it reaches a point where it's like almost feels like someone else has beamed it down into you. It's been wonderful.
Yeah. Lots of people saying they like my new track, which is very nice. Thank you. I can't see who that was, but yeah, thank you very much, everybody.
Brilliant. Did Zoe gather up any more then, or?
She's just been posting them in. Isis O said, love the outro music to the Witch video. No idea what it was or who wrote it, but really nice. It was really nice and haunting in a calm way. Oh, thank you.
That was you.
Yeah,
you did that.
That was me. Yeah. That's the one that sort of is quite calm, but it ends in sort of like a rising sort of harmony. It's very
I heard that and I knew I needed to put Prospero's monologue in the end of that. I was like, ooh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Nina, can you tell us your website again? Says Kelly Collins.
Yeah, it's ninarichards.co.uk. In fact, could I paste it in there, or would that not work?
I think it would probably work. Yeah. You can see the spelling of Nina. Yeah, you can see the spelling of Nina Richards in the top left of the screen.
Actually, I'll get Zoe to do that.
Zoe.
Thanks, Zoe.
Jeremy, I'll talk about my saxophone experience in a bit. After Nina's gone, we'll do questions for me. Brilliant.
Great stuff.
Patrick Henderson says, who did the piano of the Jarvis Cocker cover at the end of Elon Musk? That was a musician I contacted called Ibrahim, who did a couple of things for me before I think Ibrahim was just like a student who didn't have a whole lot of time, and then I went on and found Zoe and Nina. Brilliant. All right then. Well, if that's all everybody's got, then I'll keep hanging out. We can probably say goodnight to Nina and let her go on and get on with her evening.
I'll carry on watching. I'll get myself a nice drink.
Oh, nice. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming on and agreeing to chat.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me on.
No worries. Lovely to have you here. Right. Have a great evening, you and Zoe.
Awesome. Thanks, you too.
Bye. Okie dokie. That was Nina Richards, the musician who did all the covers, who came on. And now what I can do is I can put on the music again. Let me turn it down a bit for you. Yeah, that was Nina who did all the covers of the songs for the video and did such an absolutely amazing job. And I may have another one. Haven't decided yet whether I want to end the next video on a song or not. I'm filming it like pretty soon, so I need to make up my mind. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So yes, Jeremy, to answer your question, I played saxophone for years in high school, and yeah, I just had it this whole time. I just never mentioned it. I didn't realize he was so so keen on hearing me comment on my saxophone playing abilities. But yeah, that's what that's all about. So, I had a few other notes to self about the video. If you've just joined us, this is the post-mortem stream for my video. That's wrong. That's my DMs. Praise the Lord for the working tech. Yes, definitely. Yeah, here we go. Yes. Yeah, I had a few other notes to myself. If you just joined us, we are doing the post-mortem stream for my video Queer Sparkle Emoji. There are no other instruments I secretly play, sorry. Yeah, and I had a few other notes to myself. One of which was when I talked about where was it? When I talked about commodity fetishism and like lesbian chic, there it is, bam, straight away. When I talked about commodity fetishism and lesbian chic, I kind of stretched the meaning of commodity fetishism a little bit. I was drawing on a source by Sarah Ahmed, who talks about commodity fetishism in this way. Like, what I just kind of want to. Yeah, I mean, commodity fetishism is when we perceive relations between people as if they are relations between economic objects in the market, and I slightly stretched it there. It was like I used it in slightly more of a metaphorical sense. I just want to sort of flag that up and issue a little bit of a correction. I might revisit the notion of commodity fetishism in my next video. I'm not sure yet. It's sort of in my notes, but the notes are still very loose at the moment. Next video, I'm either going to have to write it in a hurry, or it's going to be the first time I've missed a deadline in 6 years. It may end up coming out in December because I went on holiday for a week I kind of got back like 2 days ago, so I sort of missed a few days at the beginning of November, and I'm also gonna have to be going away around sort of like mid-late November. So I'm gonna, yeah, I may, I hope I don't, but it may be the first time I've missed a deadline. But I will try my very best to get it done and edited and out by the end of November. But yeah, I had a few other notes to self as well. I got a lovely email from a lesbian woman in Washington who pointed out that so I can show you the relevant bit here. I talk about KD Lang, who you can see on the cover of Vanity Fair here. I said in the video that KD Lang is dressed as a man. It would have been more accurate, I think this person's name was Gloria who emailed me. It would have been more accurate to say that KD Lang is dressed butch rather than dressed as a man. And like with the shaving, I mean, so the point of lesbian chic and the point of that bit is it's kind of like aesthetically heterosexual, if you like with the shaving thing. Like of course women can shave too, but like it's I think the point that the authors I'm citing when they talk about lesbian chic, the point that they're making is that it's like selling lesbianism as if it's just like slightly spicy heterosexuality, and like a lot of the political stuff, and you know the fact that like lesbian women at the time were being like attacked and burned to death. like that's what they're objecting to, is that stuff kind of got like left out slightly and sadly. So yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. But yes, it would have been more accurate to say that this is like a butch femme look rather than like a man necessarily. So fair enough. What else did we have? Oh yeah, I can show you some comments here. Thank you very much to Batman AMA for that super chat, and to Lucky Stampede as well, who says, Lucky Stampede says, I feel like Sparkle has equal and opposite energy to the Black Star. Is this video part of that series? No. The Black Star videos, the Black Star Dragon Balls, the Black Star videos are all kind of marked pretty clearly. There's 3 of them. I'm not planning on there being any more. What else do we have? Let me just line up my comments here. Actually, you know what? Yes, let's start with comments. So I had some great comments. This one from Jacob Van Klinken, who says, who's kind of wondering why the video was so personal, and a few people wondered that as well. People are like, this is kind of quite a personal video. Why is that? And I thought it would be a good chance to talk about like how video essays are structured. So I think it was Lindsay Ellis who once said that a good video essay should be about 3 things. It should be about the argument, the author, and the society that the author lives in. And not all of my videos fall into that like trifecta. My next one probably won't. My next one's not shaping up to be very personal at all. But the thing is, like, if you make videos where somebody like wants to know something, like if I just maybe like what is queer theory, and it's just like a purely factual definition, then people come to the channel and they watch the video to find out what they want to know, and when they know it, they go. If you want people to come back to your channel like time and again, and you really want them to like connect with what you're telling them and to value what you're telling them, then relatability is important. It helps. And like a personal connection. If you can make it personal, then that's a good tactic. Parasocial, as you know. So there's kind of a bit of like a hashtag content reason of doing that. I guess also like, you know, quite a bit of philosophy is actually written from like personal stuff. So if you read any Sarah Ahmed, even Sarah Ahmed going back years, there's often a lot of personal stuff in there as well. And even you know, like British analytic philosophers from the 20th century will put little bits in there as well about themselves, right? So it's not that like it's not like completely objective science. There's definitely a place, and an established place in philosophy for like a little bit of a personal journey as well. In this particular video, like the songs are like pretty personal, although they are like thematically on point as well. This video did get like a little bit more personal than usual, and particularly towards the end. Thanks, Jennifer Edwards, for that super chat. I'll try and get to it in a second. Yeah, so if you're going to put personal stuff in a video, there's kind of 2 ways of doing it. One is you make the whole video and then you put on a big bit at the end. It's like, here's why this is important to me. Like part 5, why this is important to me, and it's 10 minutes long. You can do that. I've seen videos like that, and it's like, I just kind of click off at that point because I'm like, okay, cool. Great. You know, it can be a little clumsy. Sometimes you can do it, but it gets a little clumsy. Sometimes that's like important. You can even like have a big reveal, right? That's kind of cool. But I think to blend them together is more of a challenge, and it's more fun, and it kind of makes for a more fun viewing experience as well. It does have its disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is like some people think that the philosophy isn't there because they focus on the personal stuff, and then some people like say, why are you talking about this like philosophy stuff? Like, I just want to hear about the personal stuff. So it does have its disadvantages, but that's why I do it that way. That's why I kind of weave the personal stuff in there as well. One of the other disadvantages of it, and this is something that a couple of people flagged me up on, is like, you know, so I talked a little bit about in the video about like trans women, and there's that bit at the end where I talk about like having slept with trans women versus having slept with men, and some people are like, well, what about trans men? And that's like a bit of experience that I don't at time of recording have, and so I didn't talk about it. And that I guess that bit of the video, I was almost like addressing it to straight lads, because I've had straight friends like ask me about that before, but I can see how like coming at it from like a point of view of personal experience. So I think there was a commenter who he's kind of juggle all my windows here and trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. I think there was a commenter who brought me up on that. Yeah, so Oichi12 said, it's not just about your preferences and your experiences, which is absolutely fair. That's a fair cop. That's a fair enough comment. That wasn't what I was trying to do, but I can definitely see how like it would have been read that way. Yeah, I think rather than offering my experience as the arbiter of like who is and isn't what, I could have maybe like made it clearer that what I was doing was like addressing a specific concern that people have raised to me in the past. So yeah, that's what that bit was all about. Those were just about all the comments I had. What I can do is actually, you know what? Let's go to a patron question first before I go into the fan art. I've got some amazing fan art. So some of the if some of you will know already that if you're a patron to a certain level, then you get to ask me a question that I'll answer on stream. And David Palawoda asks, what do you see as being the limitations of YouTube for the kind of stories that you want to tell? And I think that's a really good question. I think something I've talked with other creators about before is a possibility of doing like an unreliable narrator video, which I think, I don't know, there must be some way of doing that, but it's difficult. I can't think of a good way to do it. Like, it's also hard to get the sort of poetry of. So I'm rereading Vladimir Nabokov at the moment, and like the poetry of his language is so beautiful, and it's hard to get that kind of like not density, but like complexity of language in a YouTube video. But then that's a novel, and that's what novels do, right? That's their strength. I think honestly one of the kind of, not limitations, but one of the challenges of the kind of stuff that I do is that is like sponsorships. So sometimes having a sponsorship in a video will be like artistically inappropriate. Like I sometimes turned down a sponsorship for this video because I was like, I don't want to be like coming out sponsored by Skillshare. That would have been very funny. But sometimes when I did the video on Chernobyl, I was like, I don't want the ending note to be one of sponsorship and like advertising. I wanted to leave it in a more thoughtful one. I was gonna end on a sponsorship for Climate Grief, but I even made it and they dropped out, which was annoying because it was really, really funny. I had like David Attenborough reading out the ad copy for the sponsorship at the end of Climate Grief, which was really good. And I put a lot of work on it. It was very funny, but they dropped out, so it ended up being cut. But yeah. Sometimes sponsorships can be artistically inappropriate, and so I don't do them. I think this next video, if I can arrange it, is probably gonna have a sponsorship. Partly because I think it would actually be artistically appropriate this time, and partly because like the last 2 or 3 videos have been demonetized and run at a loss, and I need some money. Anima Visionary, thank you for that super chat as well. I don't know. I did like address, I suppose, yes, views on gender. Yes, I made a deliberate effort with this video to sort of definitely reference like non-binary thinkers and non-binary ways of looking at it more. But yeah, again, like good note, always something I can do more of. I think before we segue into talking a little bit more about that, let's have a look at some fan art, because there was some lovely fan art out there. Let me put myself, I'll put myself up here in the top. So I really enjoyed some lovely fan art from this video. This one, if I can figure out how to scroll down, this one was made by the Uncanny Dag, which I really like. It's kind of a Doctor Who themed one, which I really like. It was really fun. And this one by Encourage Gink, which I look very serious there. It's very serious, but I do like it. It's really fun. I enjoy I enjoy. I like when people do fan art. I want to like give it a chance. I want to like show it on the stream, and like give people a chance to see it, because people put a lot of work in. Like, it must have taken ages to make this, and it's something I could never do. Like, so I love it. That's really good. This one's from the Philosophy Tube subreddit by Ames and all that, which I really like. I'm not quite sure. It's a reference to something specific. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I like the Harry's in it. It almost looks hand drawn. That I think somebody drew that by hand. That's really, really good. I like that one a lot. It's really fun. And this one I love that. That is hand drawn. Can you see? Yes, you can see the name of the artist there. Rev Reverse on Twitter. I love this one. It's great. Like, I would almost use it as like a profile pic if I did that sort of thing. I don't use other people's art as like, I try not to use other people's art as my profile picture unless I paid for it. But this one is, I love this one. It's really cool. Like, I love the way my hair looks in there. It's really good. It's really fun. Yeah, it's cute. I think this one's brilliant. Oh, apparently it's a reference to a Vine. Okay, brilliant. I never had Vine. Well, no, yes I did. I think I made like one Vine with Lego men, and then it never went anywhere. Somebody says, what does the Gallifreyan say in the Doctor Who one? I don't know. I'm not a nerd. Okay, I just don't know. Oh, and this one by Queer Punk as Whole. Let me move myself out of the way so you can see it. Queer Punk as Whole has done quite a bit of fan art for the show before, and you know, it's always amazing. And this one is no exception. Like, this was out before the video was even out. Queer Punk as Whole just did this like off the back of the promo stills, which I loved. I thought it was great. Fantastic. Sid Beretta says, thank you for turning me on to Danger 5. Keep up the brave work, and as always, kill Hitler. Yes. If you've never seen Danger 5, I thoroughly recommend it. I used some of their music in the one on Chernobyl. That was good fun. Oh, I love a bit of Danger 5. Somebody says, are there any specific way to send you digital art? If you send it to me on Twitter, you're probably going to miss it because my Twitter settings are like mutuals only. So you can email it to me. You can like Tumblr. You can put it on Tumblr if you want. I'll just sort of send any way you like. Really, there's no sort of official channels for art. But yeah, people are so bloody talented. It's amazing. I wish I had that kind of talent. It's brilliant. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. Honestly, this video was so much fun to make. Like, it was just a pleasure. It's just an absolute joy. Like, you can tell. I think you can tell that I'm having a blast by looking at it. Stephen Clear, thank you for that super chat. Stephen says, what's the source of the second song? The second song, this one, is from a musical which I've actually not seen all of, but it's called Sideshow. Sideshow. It's about a set of conjoined twins. Yeah. Oops, just dropped my ring. Yeah, it's from a musical called Sideshow, which I very much enjoyed. But yeah, like, this was very difficult to edit. This video was. This is an absolute pleasure to make. Like, I think it's my best work. It's the hardest one to make, like, in terms of time and cost, like financial cost, and just like, you know, hours and hours and like technical difficulty. It was tough. But I'm glad it was so fun. Like, I'm really glad that it was fun to make, and that I was having a blast making this bit. I had the guitar. Yeah, it was great fun. Yeah, I was really happy to make it. And that was a good thing, like, because unfortunately, like, there was some stuff going on while I was making it that was less than ideal. It was like a number of like personal like things going on in my life that were quite difficult. Some people close to me had some personal tragedies like while I was doing it, so it wasn't the easiest month while I was making it. Unfortunately, like as I was making it, like during the filming stage as well, I got caught up in this like really the air guitar bit killed me. I got caught up in this in like a bit of an unfortunate misunderstanding, which was which was like made things slightly sad. And I'm glad to have the opportunity to talk about it now, like in an environment where you can see my face and hear my voice, because like, you know, the written word in Twitter and you know, transcripts of stuff isn't the easiest. It's just like very easy to get the wrong end of the stick. I much prefer live theatre, darlings. That's how we like to do it. So yeah, like this video was a joy to make, which is wonderful. For those who kind of know the sad tale already, I won't belabor it. And for those who don't know, I won't kind of get you bogged down in details. But yeah, I got involved in this like an unfortunate misunderstanding where a friend of mine made a video that I voiced a line in. The video was about like art and aesthetics, and I thought it was good. I watched it and I enjoyed it, and I shared the video when it came out. And my friend and I have this like joke between us that she's gonna get me cancelled someday because she sometimes gets in a bit of trouble. And I shared this and I said, hey, like, you know, this is gonna get me cancelled someday, but I stand. It was a little bit of a joke, and I didn't think anything more of it. And then about 24 hours later, I started getting death threats, which happens occasionally. Unfortunately, it's part of the job. I just had one or two in my email inbox, and I was like, well, I wonder what this is. And they were mentioning some guy that I'd never heard of, and I was like, okay, somebody's got a wire crossed somewhere. Probably doesn't need any further attention. And in any case, I had had stuff to do, like personal stuff and professional stuff to be making as well. So I kind of cracked on and didn't really think any more of it. And they kept trickling in. I kept getting like threats and worse. And then some things like weren't threats, but were just like, hey, you know, this is really bad. And I was like, okay, like, what is this? I don't really know what it's talking about. And people mentioned that there was something going on Twitter. And my Twitter settings are set to like mutuals only, and I hadn't really been on to. Thank you very much to Adam Scarride for that super chat as well. What do you think made it take you so long to recognize your feelings? Various personal circumstances. Like, I was like, various personal circumstances made it less than ideal to explore those feelings practically, shall we say? Basically, I was in relationships. Yeah, you know, it just takes time for everybody, I guess. Het lag, I saw somebody refer to it as, like the delay in realizing that you're not heterosexual. But yeah, I guess just like time it takes. But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so people were mentioning there was something going on Twitter, and my Twitter settings are set to mutuals only. So I was like, okay, what is this? And I finally like took a look at Twitter, and I discovered sort of several things to my horror. So it turned out, I need to get this right, because it's quite complicated. I voiced a line in my friend's video, and somebody else voiced a line in the video. And that somebody else, be very charitable, has a history of saying some unpleasant things and doing some unpleasant things, particularly with regards to non-binary people. It's about as charitably as I can put it. And the fact that he was in my friend's video was a subject of like quite a bit of quite heated discussion. And people, so I was getting death threats about my endorsement quote of this guy who I'd never heard of. And that took me quite a while to figure out that that's what they were referring to. So Ian Danskin from Innuendo Studios has this great video on Ship of Theseus, right? It's like Ship of Theseus. Thank you very much, Lydia Kidder, for that super chat. Ship of Theseus as applied to language. So he uses this example of a statement of something like public figure X hates sex workers, and that looks very bad. But you dig into it, and what you realize what they're referring to is public figure X. Thank you very much, Michelle Disraeli, for that super chat. What you figure out that means is like public figure X once worked with somebody who hates sex workers. And then you figure out what that means is, oh, that person once shared an article by a journalist who once said something else separately about people who are critical of sex workers, which is absolutely not to say that statements like that are like, I'm using my hands here a lot to map out the sort of flow diagram, which is not to say that sentences like that are not true or useful, just that if you are not operating from the same context, it takes quite a bit of time to like figure out all the connections. So people were talking about me endorsing this guy I'd never heard of, and it just took me a little while to figure out that's what they're referring to was that I was in the same video when we didn't have any creative control over that. And then people were saying that the video platformed him, and that also took me a while to get my head around as well, because he was reading words in the video written by someone else. Like, he said some things in the past for which he's been criticized, but didn't say any of them in the video. So it just kind of it took me a little bit of a while to understand, get my head around all this, basically. Time that I didn't really have a lot of, because I said, I wasn't on Twitter all that much, and sort of had other things to be worrying about. So that took a while, and I discovered to my further horror that my little joke about like, this is going to get me cancelled someday, people had kind of got the wrong end of the stick, and they thought that was me making fun of the fact that people were upset about this guy being in the video, which is like, oi. Damn, that is like absolutely not what I wanted to do. And I was like, I regret the wording of that tweet. Hindsight's 2020, of course. But yeah, to my horror, I discovered that like this whole thing had been set off, which without me like really like inadvertently setting it off. And I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who were messaging me about it. Some of them kind of in sort of genuine concern ways, and some of them in very, very awful ways. But I checked my Twitter and it was like blown up. I'm reading this great book at the moment by Robert Elliott Smith called, it's right there on my bookshelf, it's called Rage Inside the Machine. It's about like algorithms and like computer science. Thank you very much for that super chat, Isadora Francesca. Can you talk about your experiences in St Andrews? Yeah, remind me in a few minutes and we'll talk about St Andrews. People in the chat remind me to talk about St Andrews later. I know where to get really good brownies. Yeah, I'm reading this book by Robert Elliott Smith called Rage Inside the Machine, and he talks about how certain problems in computer science are what they call combinatorially explosive, where like there's so many solutions, and like the only way to go to like find the optimal solution is to go through every single one individually, which takes a lot of computing power and time. So, and I felt a bit like that. Like, I had hundreds and hundreds of people messaging me, some of whom were, like, a lot of people who had concerns. Some of the concerns were, like, different, and people saying they were concerned about this or that. Some of those were inconsistent. A lot of people wanted me to do different things, a lot of which were inconsistent. So, I would have, like, 50 people saying, it's not about X, it's about Y, and I would have 50 more people saying, what about X? And I would have people saying, we don't want you to do this, we want you to do that, even as I had people yelling at me, like, telling me to do this. So I had a lot of people, like, with the whole spectrum of concerns and queries and worries. And then I also had a lot of people using it as an excuse to say things that were, like, absolutely unacceptable. Some people was, like, as I said, death threats. I had encouragement of suicide. People went through my mental health videos to specifically find things that would, like, upset me, which is very awful. People were speculating about my private life. People were insulting my loved ones and my friends. I got doxxed. I was accused of various crimes and perversions, and I have committed various crimes and perversions, but none of the ones that I was being accused of. But yeah, basically, it was the worst week I've ever had on the internet, even worse than the time the neo-Nazis found me a couple of years ago, which was a real shame. And I have seen this sort of thing happen before. And the thing with combinatorial explosive problems is you have to go through every single one individually, which like no one has the time to do that. So I was put in this difficult position where, if you've got a lot of people criticizing you for a lot of different things, some of which are different and inconsistent, if you address like one slice of it, everyone who's like not in that slice gets upset, and all the people attacking you in bad faith take whatever you've said as ammo and throw it back in your face. And because my friends were implicated in this as well, like friends who were in the video and friends who made it, if I said anything whatever I said, like their mentions would immediately explode with 50 more people. So I was put in this like very delicate situation, which had kind of developed like inadvertently as part of some flippant things on my part, which I regret. It had like reached a point where there was not a whole lot I could do. And I sat down, I was like, oh god, what am I going to do about this? Because, you know, people are upset, and I've upset people completely accidentally without meaning to. I should do something about that. And I remembered my dad told me something when I was a kid. My dad was a doctor, and I said to him, I was like, Dad, you know, if you get a patient who comes in and it's an emergency, and they need help, but you don't know what's wrong with them, what do you do? How do you start? And my dad said, well, the first step is always done for you. We always have a golden rule to start with, and then you don't need to figure out how to start, because that's scary. You just got to figure out how to carry on. So the first thing is always, first, do no harm. Whatever you do, don't hurt the patient. And that kind of really stuck with me, and I try and live by that as much as I can, and certainly try to create by that. And I had already done harm inadvertently, without meaning to, and like very much regretted it and wanted to make it right. But like any sort of further actions of addressing it would have done like further harm to myself, because people would have like used it as a further excuse, and done harm to people that I care about as well. So it was a very like tricky, delicate situation. So conversations were had behind the scenes with friends, which will remain private. And I'm very grateful to my friends who helped me through what was a very, very difficult time. And certainly regret, I mean, even inadvertently, like upsetting people with like, when I realized that people had taken these tweets and like, understandably, reasonably, given that they were approaching it from a different context, gotten the wrong end of the stick, I was like, oh god, I feel terrible. So yeah, it was a difficult time, but as I said, I'm really glad that this video was such a joy to make, because if I had been working on a video, I was like, oh, no, this isn't my best, whilst this was happening, I would have been like, oh, this sucks. It's just very depressing. And it's very depressing when like you see people say like, you're basically saying this, and it's like something you've never said, and in fact like even something that you've publicly contradicted in the past. So it was difficult. It was kind of appropriate that this video, if you know what this person has said in the past, this video actually argues against some of it. So that was kind of quite appropriate. But yeah, I was very grateful that I had a holiday at the end when this video came out. I went on holiday the next day and had a lovely, lovely accidentally time. A lovely, lovely time. Yeah, it was wonderful. But yeah, I like to talk a little bit about the context of production and how these videos get made. And yeah, it was a testing time. I always try and do no harm. Always try and create from curiosity and not ambition. I try never to say anything like truly condemnatory about anybody. Ian's got this great concept from I think it's his latest video, where he talks about things being like a holding space, where when people are expected to be better but not in the moment judged. And I was like, ooh, I like that. I want to be that, which was nice. So anyway, we were gonna talk about St Andrews. Somebody asked me about St Andrews. Oh yeah. So yeah. Like, I'm guessing somebody wants me. Thank you, chat. Somebody wants me to like tell them about St Andrews. Well, I can tell you that the best pub is. Thank you for that super chat, BW Grant Barnes. The best pub is Stabco on South Street. It rules. The best brownies are from Taste on North Street. The vegan brownies from Taste. Oh, beautiful. There used to be a great curry house on South Street, but I think it's gone now. But yeah, Stabco does the best pint. Taste do the best brownies. Do all your reading for week 1 in Freshers Week. Do all your reading for week 2 in week 1, and all your reading for week 3 in week 2. You'll be a week ahead. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful. You'll have a wonderful time. What else? Oh yeah, when you go in your first term, make sure you have your flat for second year sorted by Christmas, because there's a housing shortage and you want to get in there. You want to get in there quick. That's how you do it. That's the pro. It's a pro gamer move. I think those are all the kind of notes to self I had about this video. Like, as I say, yes, vegan brownies. I did say vegan brownies. Oh yeah, the vegan brownies rule. Ollie, how long have you been playing sax? Like, since I was like 14. Although I'm rubbish at it. I had a teacher who I didn't like all that much. So I tell you what, why don't we open some letters from the mailbox? Or rather, why don't we go through some letters from the mailbox? Unfortunately, as I say, I've been getting a lot of threats. So normally I would open letters live on the stream, but in this case I've had to go through them beforehand just to make sure that there's nothing in them that would be nasty to read out live. So I have I've opened these and kind of skimmed them already. Yeah, because unfortunately I've been getting some nasty correspondence and also some, how to put it, disingenuous things. People have been sending me some letters pretending to be other people, to kind of get me to read stuff out on stream that they kind of slightly manipulate in a slightly manipulated way, and I know they've been doing that not only because I've read the letters and it's obvious, but also because I have the screenshots of the chat logs in which you were planning to do that. I can only assume those people are watching now. A little birdie told me about that little plan. I'm afraid it hasn't worked, and that's a shame. I'm probably not going to be able to open any more letters live on stream. He's just embarrassed he can't work the letter opener. He says, "No, I used the letter opener on all of these and it was great. I love it. I very much appreciate it." Yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to open any more letters live on stream, because, as I say, because I've been getting these threats and these slightly unpleasant things as well. Possibly when the PO Box comes up for renewal, I may just not renew it, because it was bound to happen eventually. But yes, I have already cut into the succulent letter flesh and read it. So we'll have a sort of edited highlights, shall we, of some of these nice letters that we've got. So this one came with some nice fan art. This one was from Sam. Sam, do you recognise your letter? Sam from Melbourne in Australia. Thank you very much, Sam, for your letter. I really enjoy reading it. It was really good. I'm sorry that your teachers have been giving you a rough time, but I hope that things go better. And yes, your writing is lovely, and I love. Sam did this great little drawing of the arsonist, which I really like. That's really good. That's really good. I do like opening the letters and stuff. It is really fun when they're nice. It's good. And also, Sam included this. I'm not sure if this is a drawing of me or not, but I like it. I'm going to assume it's a drawing of me. It's a very sort of twinky me, but I like it. I might even put that up on my wall because it's really. I love the colours of that. Isn't that pretty? I'm not sure whether you did that, Sam, or not, but I do enjoy it a lot. Thank you. Did I have to play sax for school, or did I pick it up on my own? It was through my school, but it was voluntary. There was no compulsory sax. Yeah. Let me put on a different. Ooh, I like this music. This is the music of Chris Zabriskie. You can hear in the background. Cool. What else do we have? Thank you for Eternal Ritu for that super chat. Are there any topics in science you're fascinated by and want to know more about? Yes, marine biology. I was thinking the other day, I was having a chat with somebody about with another YouTuber about what we would do if we quit YouTube, and I was saying it would be amazing to just the dream would be to some tropical university lets me do a postgraduate degree in marine biology, and I just study octopuses. I would love to take 2 years off YouTube, go and do a whole bunch of scuba diving and a whole bunch of marine biology studies, and just come back and make it an underwater YouTube channel. I would love to do it, like Jacques Cousteau, but YouTube. I would love to. That'd be so much fun. Yeah, but you can't really do a postgrad. I did some astrophysics at uni, which I really enjoyed. James Bremner asks, how long at drama school is spent learning what to do with your hands? There's no specific classes on it in the drama school I went to. You just do it. But yeah, I always loved space, and I love the sea. So any kind of I would love to like study fish and marine animals, like anything involving diving. I really want to at some point. I'm trying to find a sponsor who will help me do it. I want to make a video with some underwater elements, because I can scuba dive and I love it. And I think it would be like, I could do like anything, nature, animals, anything. Like 20,000 tweets under the sea. I love that. I would love it. Yeah, I'd love to do that. It'd be great. What aspect of ancient history was your favourite? Well, I've never looked at all of it, but I did enjoy learning about Alexander the Great. Jennifer Edwards says, have you thought about having somebody else open the letters for a while? It can be really hard and traumatic to open threats. Yes, it can. But I can't really afford to pay. I can't really afford to pay someone to come and open my fan. That's a bit like... Okay, so this one I can't read out, but it's from Paloma. And Paloma, if you're watching, I just wanted you to know that I got your letter and I appreciate it a lot. Thank you. I shan't read it out, but thanks. Appreciate it. We've got another one here. This one came with a $2 bill. And it was from Madison in Illinois. It says, hi there, Ollie. I wanted to send you very belated congratulations on the charity stream. You shattered my expectations and I couldn't be more proud. You, Alice, Izzy, and all the mods and guests came together to pull off a remarkable act of compassion. I've included a small present for you, a $2 bill. I like to collect them. Thank you, Amy Ames. Remind me to talk about that in a minute. I collect $2 bills because they're cool looking and just uncommon enough to feel special when you come across one in circulation. Thank you, Jodie Edits and things. I wanted you to have the last one in my collection. As a reminder of the good you inspire in others. I truly mean it when I say you can do anything you put your mind to, and I support you in all your endeavours. I hope your wrist is doing better by the time you read this, and please use braces next time you work out. From Madison in Illinois. Thank you, Madison. Thank you very much. I know where I'm going to put that. Thank you. You have lovely writing, by the way, Madison. Very sweet. Okay. Oh, we also have some stuff from MJ. From one buy to another, MJ made some comics and some badges. By Furious and by Fi and Querios. My next video might require some badges, so I'm going to save these up. Thank you very much. And I had one from Sylvia. Was I going to read this one out or not? I won't, but thank you, Sylvia. Thank you for that letter. That was very kind. Wait, was that the one with the... Yeah, thank you, Sylvia, and congratulations. Thank you for that. And who's this one from? This is from Alia. So thank you to Alia. Again, we're just doing sort of edited highlights here. Also because there's quite a lot of them. Alia did a nice little drawing from the Shakespeare stream. Thank you, Adam Appel. Isn't that nice? Hamlet. With a bit of a Cyrano de Bergerac style schnoz on me there. Which I like. That's very good. I wish I could draw. Terrible at it. But thank you, Alia. There was something someone wanted to ask me about. Oh, makeup. Amy Ames wanted to ask about makeup. Hi, Marina, shut up. Let me make you a mod. Here you go. We have the power of the wrench. Do you have any tips for guys wearing makeup? Yeah, moisturize first. Like, use primer. You can always wash it off and start again. It's really fun. The first time I tried it, I was like, damn, this is good. It's like real life Photoshop. I love it. I'm wearing makeup right now. I'm just wearing a little bit of like moisturizer, primer, and then foundation, and then a tiny bit of concealer. What I like to do is I like to get concealer that's just a little bit lighter than my skin color, and I like to put that like over my eyes, my eyelids, right? And it just kind of makes your eyes a little bit brighter. I like doing that. Sort of smooths them out. Pro tip. Oh, and if you've got beard like me, or eyebrows like a lot of people, just get a little brush and just sort of give it a brushy brew, sort of brush out the foundation. There you go. Oh, and like you swirl over foundation, you tap it off, and you just go in little like swirly motions like that, and then you can just and then you can do fancier stuff after that. Oh, and blend it down your neck as well. I've not done a great job of doing that tonight because the camera's not that good, so I've still got a bit of stubble, and you can just sort of blend it down your neckline, and that'll help. Thank you, Maria, for that super chat as well. That's very kind. We're opening letters by doing edited highlights of letters rather than full detailed ones because of some nasty things that's been sent to the PO Box recently. Min SD says, I'd love to know the colour of your lipstick. Instead, as she goes, I can show it to you. Well, this one, let me give you the close up. Let me see if I can. Oh, this was so fun. This was the most fun sequence. Oh, there you go. That's nice. I'll tell you what. I can just get it out for you. Give me 1 second, and I'll fetch it out. It's my bag of tricks. Oh, hey, I've been looking for that. It's my razor. Here we go. So this is the lipstick that I used in the video. I didn't get it out of any particular loyalty. It was just like I just got it because it was cheap and red. But it's Burt's Bees, and it's doesn't even say what color it is. Sorry, but that's what it looks like. Sorry. Anyway, it's Burt's Bees. You have to find it. It's Burt's Bee. You find it. Beard shadow there. Tough to get rid of. I shaved just before putting on all the makeup for that, but it is tough to get rid of. If I sort of zoom in a little bit, you'll be able to. There you can see like loads of beard shadow there, which I photoshopped out for the thumbnail. The Thing says, thank you for the wonderful videos and infectious attitude, particularly in this last year of exploring being trans. All the best as always from Ellie. The Things is, I don't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that, The Things. If that's you saying what I think you're saying, then let me know, and I'll give you a proper congratulations. Oh, okay. It says it on the bottom. 522. Crimson Coast. I don't know if you can see that. But yes, it says, well, now you do, says The Things. Oh my god, congratulations! Holy shit! Haha, that's amazing! Haha! Oh, that's so cool! Oh, congrats to Ellie in the chat. Oh, that's fucking class! Sorry, I'm gonna get demonetized. Damn it! Ah, oi. Damn, that's cool. Awesome. I'm revved for you. That's so class. That makes... a lot of things make sense from your videos now. Not sus and none, obviously, but, you know. Your video you made on your other channel a while ago. Damn. Nice work. Nice work. But yes, Crimson Coast. That's my drag voice. What else did we have? We had a few more. We had a nice parcel from Kit Spencer. Kit Spencer sent me, dear Ollie, thanks from Kit. Is this embroidery or people like Shrek? It says. Is it embroidery or cross stitching or what? Ellie's a cool name as well. I had a best friend growing up called Ellie. So yes, thank you to Kit. Thank you, Lily Messer, for that super chat. How is philosophy in uni essay wise? Fine. I mean, you write a lot of essays. If you like that sort of thing, which I do because I'm weird, then it's fine. When I was doing my A levels, I kind of like sort of did it like a forced computer science thing where I at A level there's only so many ways they can ask, like, compare and contrast these two theories or like assess this objection to this theory. So I calculated every possible question that could be on the philosophy A level and prepared answers to all of them, which it turned out was something like, somewhere between 50 and 100 possible questions, essay questions, and just practiced all of them. And then there were only 3 questions on the exam, 3 questions, 3 hours. And so I knew that the odds of getting a question on the exam that I hadn't prepared for were extremely low, and that even if I did, it would likely be a combination of, like, I would be able to assemble an answer out of pieces that I already had. So, yeah, that's how I did it. If you like writing essays and you're a weirdo like me, then you can do all right. Oh, this one was from John. So thank you, John, who sent some like abstract art that they did as well. And also a sticker. So thank you very much to John for that. And I think, are we getting to the end now? Yes, I think we are. I think we've got one more. Decline, that's very kind. They are, I'm sure they're taking the necessary steps. Don't worry. So here's one. Oh. Some people's, do you have any travel plans? Where would you want to go next? I'm going to be travelling soon to go and see a friend for their birthday. But probably won't say any more than that at the moment. Oh, I remember this one. This one is from Makeda. Thank you, Makeda, for your letter. I read it earlier on this afternoon. There was a lot of like touching things in here. Yeah, I appreciate it a lot. I love the Shakespeare stream. Thanks so much. Really like that you gender swapped Othello. Thanks for almost dying for the sake of literature. You also inspired me to get in the gym and start working out. I was really shy to do so at first. I had major gym anxiety. Yeah, same. Your glow up over the last year and inspired me to start my own. Yeah, I had a first session with a personal trainer today, which was really nice. My wrist is I still can't do things like press ups, which is annoying. But yeah, I'm glad that could help. Your live streams always help me after a long, stressful day, and I enjoy hearing your voice. Well, thank you, Makeda. Oh yeah, this I wanted to highlight. I was surprised to learn that you were from Newcastle because I sadly know it all too well. When I had the pleasure of studying at the University of Northumbria for a year, my time there was ruined to the overwhelming amount of racism I faced because I'm African American, say in brackets. I actually had to go to court over it. But it's good to know not all Geordie people are bad. Yeah, I was so sad to hear that. Like, my friend Carly Brown is a slam poet, and she has this amazing poem about being from Texas. It's called Texas, I Can't Take You to Parties Anymore, and it's about like what it means to be from somewhere that you love, that you really love, and that's just such a big part of you, but that is at the same time hurtful in a way. And I felt that a lot from your letter, Makeda. Like, yeah, I love the Northeast. It's my home, and it will always be my home. And it's a shame sometimes that it is not entirely welcoming to people who would make excellent Geordies. So I'm sorry that you went through that. I mean, I'm not responsible for it, but I'm still sorry. I express regret that that happened. I'm sorry that you had a bad time in Newcastle. Yeah, I love it, but sometimes I'm like, Newcastle, I can't take you to parties when you're like this. Thanks for introducing me to Franz Fanon. His work has been tremendously helpful in my research. All in all, you've helped me question my ways of viewing the world. Most importantly, you and Natalie helped me realise my transphobia and combat it, so I could have more meaningful relationships with my friends who are trans. I guess what I'm trying to say... They say some very lovely things. And says, you are untoxic masculinity in human form. Keep going. I'm super proud of you. And there's a link to a playlist and also this pen shaped like a NASA. I nearly said NASA guy, an astronaut. It's an astronaut pen. Thank you very much, Makeda, for that. It's really, really kind of you. Woo! Bam! Well, that's the lot. Yeah, as I say, just edited highlights of letters this time because of some stuff that I've been sent. I may not renew the PO Box when it comes up for renewal in however long that is. I don't know off the top of my head. We shall have to see. We shall have to see. And in the meantime, I'll probably have to keep opening them before the stream. So, welcome along if it's your first time. Ben Affleck the Almighty, don't worry. She knows. So yes. Well, why don't we hang out for another 5 or 10 minutes? I sometimes get ice cream after a stream, and now whenever I stream, I'm like, I want ice cream. But I don't think I will tonight. I don't think I will because I'm starting with a new trainer, and yeah, wanna get back to work. I've missed enough training. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone who sent me letters, or at least thank you to everyone who sent me letters that we've touched on tonight. those sending things that they shouldn't have been sending know who they are, and that's, well, anyway. So why don't we hang out for another 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm probably gonna get a cup of tea, maybe. And then probably have a bit of a sleepy. Got to do a fair bit of work tomorrow. Got to get to work on my next video. Somebody says, what's your ring sizes? I don't know. They come in sizes. I found this one's magnetic, which I didn't realize till I got it out earlier on to put it on, and I was like, there was like a nail stuck to it, and I was like a metal nail, and I was like, huh. Either I have developed magneto powers, or this ring is magnetic. And I sort of tested it, and it is, which is cool. The Lord Andrew says, Ollie, can you talk a bit about why we build the wall and why you chose to do it for the Steve Bannon video? Yeah, because like wall and like Trump wall. That's why. And also because when so the Steve Bannon video is about like modern fascism, right? When I saw the musical Hadestown, that song was written like many years. Well, not many years ago, but it was like between 2010 2015, I think. So I just saw it and was like, perfect, I need that for my video that I was writing at the time. It was like a perfect confluence of time. So yeah, that's why I saw it and was like, I need that. It's A, great, and B, perfect. So I like messaged Nina and was like, hey, can we do this? And she was like, yeah, we can do this. So I stuck it in, and it turned out to be great. That video, my cover of Why We Build the Wall, had like 300,000 views. I have no idea why. It's just like it's like totally uncharacteristic of me to just upload like a music cover song, but you know, I did it anyway. But yeah, I've got to do a fair bit of work tomorrow. I've got to research my next video. I read a whole book this afternoon just to research it. It's at that stage now where it's like keeps getting bigger, and I need to start trimming it down because I booked the studio time. I need to film in like a week and a half, so I need to like start hammering out drafts of scripts basically. I also need to So my next video is actually about another creator. Thank you, Sital de Rihansu, for that super chat. My next video is actually about another creator, so I actually need to message them and let them know that that's happening. So they, in a nice way. It's not a kind of like you suck. It's another creator whose work I really, really enjoy, and I think is doing some great philosophy, and I can like take their work and put it in context. They're slightly bigger than me. I think, yeah, slightly bigger than me, and then as a creator, like in terms of like subscribers and stuff, but like very different audience, very different topic, and I've followed their work and enjoyed it for a long time. We're gonna make a video about them. Thing says I'm flattered. No, sorry. I made a video about you years ago. Like in my first year of YouTube, I made a video about YouTube poops, and I was like, the things. Old days. It was my first ever collab that I did with Blink Pop Shift. Somebody says, how did you find lesbian icon Strange Eons? I think we've met. I don't know. It's not Strange Eons. That's not who I'm doing it about. But I think we met at Sitsi a couple of years ago. I think. I don't know. It might have just been somebody who looks like very much like her, but I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know actually. Maybe I thought we'd met, and then I saw YouTube recommending her videos. And I was like, oh, I've met her, and I just liked it. But yeah, I dip in and out of Strange Eons. I like her stuff. I really enjoyed her stuff on the years ago, before she hit her stride where she is now. She had a video on like the history of lesbian fashion, which if you've seen the bibliography for my last video, you'll realise I cited it. But yeah, I think we've met, but I don't know. That might be a total lie. And I loved her video about Garfield. Me and a friend have a running joke about, or a mutual appreciation of Garfield. So yeah, yeah. I think we met. I swear we've met. But it might have just been somebody who looks exactly like her. I make so many videos, meet so many people at Sitsi. Any chance you'd upload a full Lambton worm reading? You have a great reading voice, and you know the dialect, which is an American I don't get to hear. I can't upload it, but I can do it now if you want. Give me a second. Let me find the text of Lambton Worm. Lambton Worm. I mean, it's actually a song. Which I don't think it has an official tune, but yeah, let's do that now. Yes, I am a friend of Natalie Wynn. Yes, this is known. People know this. Yeah, don't worry about it. That's not changed. It's not likely to change. Anyway, yes, I can do the Lambton Worm. Duvet or blankets, both at the moment because it's cold. But anyway, yes, Lambton Worm. Let's go for it. Everyone settle in. If I miss your super chat while this is going on, then I apologise. I'll just try and go all the way through. One Sunday morn, young Lambton went a-fishing in the weir, and catched a fish upon his hook he thought looked very queer. But what sort of fish it was, young Lambton couldn't tell. He wouldn't fash to carry it him, so he hoyed it do no well. Now Lambton felt inclined to garn and fight in foreign wars. He joined a troop of knights that cared for neither wounds nor scars, and off he went to Palestine, where queer things him befell, and very soon forgot about the queer worm i' the well. But the worm got fat, and grewed, and grewed, and grewed an awful size. He'd great big teeth, a great big gob, and great big goggly eyes. And when at neets he crawled about to pick up bits of news, if he felt dry upon the road, he milked a dozen coos. This fearful worm would often feed on calves and lambs and sheep, and swallow little bairns alive when they lay down to sleep. And when he'd eaten all he could, and he had had his fill, he crawled away and lapped his tail 7 times round Penshire Hill. The news of this most awful worm and his queer gannons on soon crossed the seas, got to the ears of brave and bold Sir John. So him he came and catched the beast and cut him in twee halves, and that soon stopped his eating bairns and sheep and lambs and calves. So knew ye na who all the folks on both sides of the weir lost lots of sheep and lots of sleep and lived in mortal fear. So let's have one to brave Sir John that kept the bairns fra harm, saved coos and calves by making halves of the famous Lambton worm. There you go. All right. Maybe on that note, why don't we? I'll start the music that we like to end. Oh, there it is. It starts automatically. No, I'll put on Zoe's song. Brilliant. Well, all right, everybody. Probably got about 3 minutes left. If you got any last questions, chuck them in. This was a fun stream. It was nice. I now really want ice cream, but very relaxing. Thank you everyone for bedtime stories with Ollie. Yeah. Thank you everyone for coming along. Lovely to have you all here. Just moving some things around on my computation device. Ollie, what do you think of Neil? I can't pronounce Neil's surname, but Sikariega. Yeah, love it. Some absolute bangers. Like Wow is an amazing track. I love it. This track is called Walking in the Rain by Zoe Blade. Thoughts on MCR coming back? Like it. Pretty keen. I was in the car with a friend a while ago and we were like, MCR's coming back. And we were like, you know what? We never got into that. So we listened to a few and we were like, okay. Thank you for the tips for the worm. Somebody says, would you focus on British veterans, possibly using the poem Tommy? Not going to rule it out. Might like to do a video on troops someday because I've still got my old cadet uniform. Somebody says better to send super chat or PayPal. YouTube takes 30% of super chats, so up to you. But yes, CC Eraga apparently is how you pronounce Neil's surname. Love it. But yeah, I was listening to MCR with a friend a while ago, and we were like, yeah, this is all right. I downloaded one of their songs, Planetary. What weather do you hate more, the heat or the cold? Hate the heat, loathe it, like to be cold. Yes, I did. Yeah. But yeah. Can you hit us with the lads stuff? What, like just when you're hanging out with you and Blagars and Dickskin and what was it? You, Blagars, Dickskin, Strudels. Well, there was others. There was Dwarf. There was Pisser. What? And then Big Dave comes in. He's like, "Oh lads, let's go Nando's for cheeky Nando's. We'll go tune for cheeky Nando's, lads. So you go down Nando's, you get your Nando's on, and spend lads like, "Oh lad, how's that bird you've been smashing?" That stuff. And you're like, "Bird's really great. Smashed like a dream. Gave her a cheeky thing behind the sports hall the other day." Those are all real people. Those are all real names of real people that I used to hang out with. Genuinely, it was like Blagars, Dickskin, Dwarf, Strudels, Big Dave, Pisser, Tiff. Who else was there? Did I say Strudels? I said Strudels. And Dwarf. Yeah. And Batesy. Didn't hang out with Batesy so much. And then me. But yeah. How did one of them get the nickname Dickskin? It was a corruption of his name. So his name, I can't tell you his name. I don't want to dox Dickskin. But his surname had 2 syllables and began with a D and sounded a bit like Dickskin, so he became Dickskin. That's what we called him. We'd be like, "Oh, Dickskin!" Like, so he called him. He loved it. Big Dave was called Big Dave because he was like big and he was tall. I was always just like either Ollie or like Wolfman was my call sign on radios in cadets because I was like angry and hairy. For a while I was Chimney. But it'd be like, "I'll read Chimney," or like, "I'll read Wolfman," or or just Ollie. Yeah, that was my lad Sona. Yeah. What else? Like Pisser, Dwarf, Strudels. What are the girls called? Chazza, Hats, Soph, so short for Sophie, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was about all of us. That was the whole gang. Yeah. For a while I was Wolfman on the radio. There were girls. Yeah, there were girl lads. Yeah. Yeah, Chazza. Ellie was just called Ellie. There was an Ellie, who is Chazza's sister. What was? Oh, Dobaz. That's what he used to call Chazza. Oh, it was Jezza. There was a Jezza, obviously. There's always a Jezza. What else was there? I can't remember. Blast from the past now. That was about everybody, I think. I hope I'm not missing anyone out. I'm not in touch with anyone. I'm still in touch with Blagaz, and I'm still in touch with Tiff. And that's it. Anyway. That's very silly. Have a great night, lads. Have a great night. Have a good one. Thanks so much for coming along. Which is what's Nando's? Nando's is a state of mind. What happened to Dickskin? I think Dickskin joined the army. I don't know. I think he joined UKIP and then the army. He was alright when I knew him, though. Anyway, good night, everybody. Good night, lads. Take her easy. We'll